Hi, my name is Emma, and today I'd like to share 20 something things I've learned in 20 something years. And I will get right to my list. 1. You should know that you deserve nice things, even if occasionally it means spending money. I am definitely the type of person who convinces myself that I don't need furniture or a side of fries or essentially anything that enriches your own life. But I want you to know that it's okay to spend money and splurge occasionally. You don't have to do it all the time for it to add value to your life. Number 2, value your parents. As my parents get older, I tend to forget how much I really depend on them, either for advice or just a great pair of people to talk to during a difficult time. So if your parents are still around, I definitely encourage you to learn from them, speak to them often, and just value them for who they are. Number 3, knowing something is wrong does not mean you can change how your heart feels about it necessarily. This past year has had a lot of personal struggles involved, and I just want you to remember that it's okay to react authentically to something. Your heart is usually right, even if your mind is telling you something different. Number 4, liking popular things does not make you basic. So, over the years, I've heard tidbits of things like wearing white Converse or enjoying Starbucks coffee makes you basic. However, I think it's important to note that enjoying popular things does not make your personality any less interesting or make you any less authentic. Things are popular for a reason, and you simply like things that other people like. 5, your value is not determined by your productivity. This one in particular took me a long time to adopt in my own life. I always told myself that I was only as valuable as the things I was achieving, and that is certainly not true. Even if you're not as productive as you hope, you still hold a purpose and you are still worthwhile and worthy of love and nice things. Number 6, so along a similar note, work is important, but that does not mean it's everything. Do not get 3 jobs and not sleep for 4 months in your junior year of college. I did that. It was not a great idea. Remember that you are working to earn money for a nice life, but you are not living to work. Number 7, do not sink your time and effort in individuals who are at best ambivalent towards you and sometimes flat out uninterested in what you have to offer. It's occasionally all right to match someone's energy and know that their relationship is not serving you any longer. Number 8, you do not need to completely understand someone's trial to display empathy towards them. There's a lot of struggles in the world. We don't need to understand all of them, but it is important to be empathetic towards others and just remember that quote that always says you never know what someone else is going through. It's very true. 9, food is fuel and you should not feel bad for eating what makes you feel good. I don't know if it's the late 90s, early 2000s diet culture ingrained in all of us so deeply, but it is okay to eat your own birthday cake and not feel bad about it. I promise you it will not make that much of a difference. Number 10, self-care in the form of skincare. Using retinol at night and sunscreen during the day, even if you're not going outside, is important. And it's just a different way to take care of yourself that a lot of people never think about or don't adopt until later in their life. But on a slightly different note, number 11, remember that people will remember your heart more than they remember your looks. Little anecdote here, about 6 months ago, I walked into an Ulta Beauty to get some things, and I ended up walking out crying because I saw a group of girls probably around my age, and I was just so disappointed with how I looked compared to them, and I walked out of that store just feeling ugly, and I just want you to remember that how you look is just a very small fraction of what you have to offer, and it really doesn't do you any good to compare your looks to someone else's. Number 12, have friends of different types. And when I say this, I'm not saying to glorify recklessness or dangerous behavior, but if you go with the cookie cutter style of friends and always seek out people that are exactly like you, you'll really cut your life experiences short. Number 13, remember your friends' birthdays and let them know on that day. So I'm definitely one of those people who my birthday turns sour if no one remembers to tell me. So just be that type of friend that remembers someone's birthday. Number 14, throw the occasional party even if you don't really feel like it. So earlier this year, I had an engagement party, and even though it felt a little cringeworthy to be the center of attention, I was really glad that I ended up having it because it was a nice family get together. So even if you don't always feel like celebrating things, sometimes it's good to go through with it anyway. 15, read more books. It is a great way to get out of your own head, and library cards are free. Number 16, choose to remember your hometown fondly, even if you don't choose to go back and live there permanently. It took a while for me to acknowledge how the people and experiences in my hometown in northern Michigan had shaped my early life, and I'm grateful for them all these years later, even if while growing up there, I was definitely ready to break out and explore new places. Number 17, it is okay to be the friend who goes out at night and dances and sings like crazy, but also the friend who can have solemn conversations over a cup of coffee. So your friends will go through different seasons in their lives and need different types of support systems, and it's best to be flexible and be that type of friend who can help them out in any type of situation. Number 18, don't take time or people for granted. Another anecdote here, so recently my grandmother passed away, and about a week before she passed away, I had gone to visit her, and she shared stories of her childhood. We laughed, hung out. It was really great, but at the time I didn't realize that was the last time I would be seeing my grandmother. So just remember that you never know when someone's last day will be, and so it's always important to value that time. So number 19 is sort of a funny one. Always be in good enough physical condition to do fun, spontaneous events. And for me, that's fun 5Ks where you dress up or, wear a Halloween costume, something wacky like that. But it's always good to be in decent enough physical shape to have adventures. And number 20 is actually a quote from a graduation speech I heard a long time ago, and it might be a little bit contradictory to the rest of this video. But be careful with whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. And so you don't have to take every piece of advice that someone dishes out, and just remember to be gentle with other people and their life experiences. So those are the rest of my tips, and thank you for watching.